Let me tell you a story. Back in the good old days when video games are made out of a love for the medium, the arts, and wanting players to have actual fun, and not out of soul-sucking corporate greed, common monetization practices acted like a standard trade. $60 or whatever the publisher's set price was, and some ones and zeros that were slammed into a magic glass disc and an eternal plastic coffin. That's not the case anymore. Far from it, you see, the times have changed. Welcome to your worst nightmare. Let's travel down the bloodstained path to find out exactly how we got here and take a look at some common monetization practices that you see in today's games industry. Electronic Arts shook hands with Satan, and the liquid metal that cools the PS5 CPU die is actually blood from the overworked developers from once creative studios. In a time when people like me, sinners or synonymously gamers, scream at the top of their lungs with praise when a developer announces their fancy new games as a service title won't have gambling aimed at children, it's no surprise that some would claim that games have lost their sparkle. But like the MacGuffin hiding at the end of a dungeon from the latest Skyrim re-release, that desaturated sparkle is hidden behind hordes and hordes of joggers and bosses. The bosses being the Activision board of directors, and the joggers being their hundreds of thousands of dollars that they consider pocket change. Our mythic quest as consumers is begging and pleading with Crystal Dynamics to remove paid XP boosts after making it harder to level up, or in a broader sense exposing the predatory monetization practices that plague the current video game landscape. Before we venture off, I'd like to clear something up. For information regarding loot boxes, microtransactions, and the subsequent effects, check out my video on loot boxes and microtransactions, as this video is kind of a spiritual successor. Regarding those topics, nothing new will be added here. So there's this thing in economics, business, and other financial topics that my brain is too small to understand called the razor and blades model. It's simple: sell someone the core product at a very low price, but make the most important piece disposable and incredibly expensive. It's seen in more places than you probably think. Printers, ink cartridges, and toner are a perfect example of this leash that just won't let go of your wallet. And obviously razors and razor blades fall into this category. I mean, sure, some of the examples that you may think of can work fine without their accessories, but you don't want to be that guy with just a bag of razor blades on their incredibly boring and perpetual quest towards finding the fair maiden that just so happens to be looking for razor blades so that they can, I don't know, step their Don Cheadle voodoo doll or something. What were we talking about again? Video games? Money? I don't know. Let's say they've got a free-to-play game. Well then, get your eyes checked, that's a skeleton. That free-to-play game is more of a demo than anything, a clickbait thumbnail. But instead of getting your money through engagement and advertisements, you're willingly getting your wallet out and throwing your credit card numbers at the screen. Destiny 2. Love you to death, but you've got a lot of fixing to do in regards to monetization. I say simultaneously purchasing 16 copies of their $100 DLC. Back in 2019, alongside the launch of a new expansion entitled Shadowkeep, they introduced their first free-to-play version called New Light. In New Light, you had access to the first whole 3 campaigns: the Red War, Curse of Osiris, and Warmind. In addition, you had access to most of the strike missions if you select exotic quests, and the Gambit playlist, which is previously locked behind the Forsaken expansion, and is currently locked behind the Temptation to Lose Your Sanity. However, if you really wanted to be able to merge into the metagame or get anywhere close to the endgame, where you can interact with high-level PvP such as Trials of Osiris, and raids such as Last Wish, Garden of Salvation, Deepstone Crypt, and Vault of Glass, you'd have to suck it up, open up your wallet, and throw cash at Bungie. A whole lot of it too. This issue can stem from the games as a service sales structure, however there are plenty of non-games as a service titles that incorporate this same thing. Super Smash Bros., a Nintendo fanboy's fever dream or worst nightmare depending on what characters you wanted to be in it, especially now that the series has unofficially concluded. Ultimate was a nice send-off, especially for the game's creator Masahiro Sakurai. Sure, there were balance issues here and there, but overall I don't see where Smash could go from here. But that's not the topic at hand. What we're discussing is far more lucrative, depending on your take on all this. The Fighter's Pass was Smash Ultimate's form of DLC, in which for $25 to $30 a pop, you could purchase a year or so's worth of fresh new fighters. I mean, this principle can be applied to most fighting games with the DLC pass. I don't know why I'm picking on Smash Bros. Here, to be entirely honest. This applies to most fighting games that came out since the Xbox 360 or so. But to get a comprehensive list or a full roster, you'd have to get the DLC or upgrade to the deluxe edition. This one is probably one of the least lucrative, as you can get away completely fine with just the base edition. Oh, hey there, Satan.
Hey there, new arrival. I have been looking for you. There's a little roadmap I've been meaning to get to you. It should come in handy sometime on your journey.
Well, this is the season pass for Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics' Marvel's Avengers.
Yup, that's a devilish thing there, ain't it? Planning for future DLC content that you can purchase at launch while the game ships in an unfinished state. Come on, even I'm not that evil.
You got me there. I think I'll just get on with my journey. I don't have that much of a problem with the seasonal revenue model. As stated previously, I'm a Destiny player, so please do not take me seriously. What I do have a problem with, however, is that developers are actively planning for downloadable content that will come to a game shortly after launch or even at launch, which means that the game may be in an unfinished state without paying extra money to get DLC or content that should have been in the original cut. However, there are obvious exceptions to the rule, such as time-gated content that is explicitly considered free. However, games like Immortals Phoenix Rising shipping with a schedule for a DLC that releases in 3 months makes no sense to me. Season passes, not to be confused with season passes, but more commonly referred to as battle passes, are microtransactions with extra steps. Instead of just handing over your money, you have to work for what you paid for by grinding XP within the game. These are more commonly used in free-to-play games, such as a way to encourage long-lasting play while simultaneously ingraining a fear of missing out onto you. You wouldn't want to miss out on those cosmetics, they could be worth something later. Destiny, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Halo Infinite, and more all employ this tactic. But recently, everlasting battle passes have become more mainstream in an effort to combat the FOMO, which I'm in total support of. I wish I could go back and get some of the emotes, the weapon artifacts, whatever, from previous seasons in Destiny, but alas, Bungie has not jumped on this bandwagon, and I don't see them getting on it anytime soon. These battle passes usually consist of 100 levels containing bonus items like weapon skins, new voice lines, or small lump sums of normally paid currency. These levels can take ages to acquire for half of the good stuff that's actually worth chasing. There's an entry fee to unlock the premium pass. In that case, the XP gain and difficulty scaling is favored towards generating a profit, and ability to pay more money for increased XP boosts may be present. If you buy these, I seriously doubt your financial management. Go down to the comments and tell me why you've bought a skin. From Counter-Strike Go to Valorant to Team Fortress 2 and League of Legends, skins refer to an alternative texture for a weapon, character model, or other cosmetic accessory. Competitive esports games are often susceptible to the overpriced skin trend, with relatively lazy cosmetics costing upwards of $70 for a knife? Wait, really? Let me see how that stacks up against CSGO prices. I've changed my mind. I get NFT people now, like JPEGs. Those are way more worth it, I think. They're priced fairly and compared to this nonsense. I'm just kidding, both are stupid financial investments. I mean, seriously, these prices are more outrageous than the $1 million sale of Super Mario on the NES. The hat market in Team Fortress is no joke either. These games have whole economies, and people can make some serious cash off of these. Except the cash stays in the Steam ecosystem since there is no way to withdraw wallet funds to credit cards or even services like PayPal. My take on skins and accessories similar to them are they're a cheap way for developers to make a little extra cash by changing the color curve on their specific gun model. It's unnecessarily lazy, and on the rare occasion that the cosmetics do look good, they're outrageously overpriced, as is the case with Valorant or Counter-Strike. Don't give in to the player base viewing them as a status symbol, unless you can acquire the cosmetics through a free way. Grinding for the currencies, whatever, it's just probably not worth it to pay. But these techniques don't really explain how we got to where we are now. Well, a combination of the corporate desire for every last one of our fancy gold coins or Mario Party stars has killed a lot of the joy that some people may get from supporting a game. I seriously started caring about the issue back when Call of Duty thought it would be a good idea to throw a red dot sight in the microtransaction store for a full $1. Literally 5 pixels of red with a glow around them. It's laziness, and it should definitely not be rewarded. If you feel like you want to support a developer, go right ahead and purchase something every once in a while. If you like the game and the content it provides, you have every right to purchase a DLC. But where it gets concerning is developers exploiting an end user's fear of missing out to increase their quarterly profit margins. Here's where we get to the metaphorical fork in the road. The games industry can go in one of two ways. Public dissatisfaction can ultimately lead good-hearted developers into changing their ways, but with the current state of half-baked apologies, Rockstar, incomplete games, Rockstar again, releasing the same game for the 6th time in a row, I think I got some, Bethesda, and having horrible working environments like Activision and Blizzard. or they can keep heading down the devil's path, doing the antithesis of what I previously mentioned. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like. If you didn't, I will point and laugh at you until you force yourself to like it, or you can just press the dislike button and be on your way. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to press the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. It's been a hot minute since I made a video essay, and I think it's good to be back. Thanks.